Welcome to the Payback Vault, your go-to hub for revenge stories, epic payback, and jaw-dropping karma. If you love thrilling tales of justice and dramatic moments, you're in the right place. I'm Lily, and for a long time, I was a quiet, introverted kid who kept to herself. I didn't have many friends, but I had two things that made me feel grounded: my love for painting and my dog, Max. Max was my rescue. The one creature in the world who I felt truly understood me, in a lot of ways. He was my safe place, and maybe that's why losing him the way I did felt like the world's worst betrayal. It all started about 2 years ago, when my family adopted Bella. Bella was almost my age, just 1 year older, and she quickly became the center of attention in our household. Right from the beginning, I could tell she had this magnetic energy about her. People couldn't help but be drawn to her. But it didn't take me long to realize that Bella used her charm to get exactly what she wanted, and anyone who got in her way was going to pay for it. It started small. She'd make little comments about my clothes, tease me for my hobbies, and even question why I spent so much time with Max. I tried to ignore it, thinking maybe she was just adjusting to her new life with us. But over time, it became clear, Bella wasn't adjusting. She was testing boundaries. And as soon as she realized she could get away with it, she pushed those boundaries as far as she could. At school, Bella and I were never close. We shared the same social circles, but she quickly became the popular one. She was beautiful, outgoing, and she knew how to make people like her. Meanwhile, I was the quiet one, the weird kid who liked to sketch and spend time with her dog. And Bella didn't just accept the spotlight, she made sure I was out of it. She'd spread rumors, tell lies about me to our classmates, and even convinced some of my friends to turn against me, all because, in her mind, the world wasn't big enough for both of us. Then, she started doing things to sabotage me directly. If I saved up money from babysitting or tutoring, she'd somehow borrow it without my permission, promising she'd pay me back but never actually doing it. And if I ever tried to stand up for myself, she'd twist it around, making me look like the bad guy, the overly sensitive, jealous, little sister who couldn't handle her own emotions. Bella was a master manipulator. She knew how to play people, especially our parents. But the final straw was Max. Max was my best friend, and Bella knew that. One day, out of nowhere, Bella came to our parents in tears, claiming that Max had attacked her. I remember the scene so vividly. She clutched her arm, her eyes welling up with crocodile tears, describing this vicious dog that had lunged at her. It was absurd. Max was the gentlest soul, and I knew he'd never hurt a fly. But Bella spun her story so convincingly that my parents actually believed her. They said they couldn't take any risks, not with Bella's safety on the line. So, despite my pleas, they sent Max to a shelter. Just like that, he was gone. Bella smirked at me from across the room as I broke down. She didn't even bother to hide it. For her, this was a game, a cruel, twisted game where she held all the cards. That night, I cried myself to sleep, feeling more helpless and betrayed than I'd ever felt in my life. Max had been my only real companion, and now, even he was gone, thanks to her lies. I remember lying in bed, clutching the blanket, and realizing I couldn't stay quiet anymore. This wasn't just about a few rumors or a stolen friend. This was my entire life, my peace, and my happiness she was tearing apart. And if Bella wanted to keep playing games, then fine, I'd play too. I spent the next few months observing Bella closely, learning her every move. Bella had a social life like no one else. She loved parties, her friends, her social media, and especially her boyfriend. They were her life, and I knew they were also her weakness. Every time I overheard Bella on the phone, I'd listen carefully. She'd badmouth her friends, calling one of her closest friends desperate and clingy, and mocking her boyfriend for being too nice. I even started taking notes in my journal, each page filled up with Bella's lies and toxic comments, each entry fueling the fire in me. There were days I wanted to confront her right then and there, but I knew better. Bella thrived on chaos. Any direct confrontation would only give her a chance to spin it against me. So I kept quiet, gathering my evidence, waiting for the perfect moment. Bella's birthday was coming up, and she was planning a huge party. She'd been bragging about it for weeks, hyping it up to all her friends. She even told me I'd better not show my face at her party, but little did she know, I had every intention of being there. I'd spent weeks preparing my revenge. I'd gathered screenshots of texts where she'd insulted her friends, Recordings of late-night phone calls where she spilled all her nasty thoughts about everyone around her. And I'd even gone through the trouble of printing out a few of her juiciest messages. By the time her birthday rolled around, I was ready. On the day of the party, Bella made sure to have every little detail perfect. The decorations were flawless. Her outfit was stunning, and she was buzzing with excitement as her friends began to arrive. I stayed out of sight, watching from a distance, waiting for the right moment. Bella's Bluetooth speaker was connected to her phone, and I'd hacked into her playlist, queuing up a special surprise just for her. Finally, when everyone was gathered, laughing, and having a good time, I hit play. The first audio clip was Bella's voice, clear as day. "She's so fake. It's sad." Bella's voice echoed through the speakers. Laughter died down as people started listening, and Bella froze. Her friends exchanged uncomfortable looks, realizing that Bella was talking about one of them. The next clip played. "He's such a loser. I'm just with him for now. But trust me, I'll find someone better." Bella's boyfriend was there, too, his face going pale as he heard her words. Every insult, every fake compliment, every backhanded comment Bella had made in private was now public. I'd synced the playlist to match each recording with screenshots on a projector I'd connected, so everyone could see exactly who Bella was. One by one, her friends' expressions turned from confusion to hurt to anger. Bella was trapped, her face a mask of horror as her secrets filled the room. She tried to explain, to deny it, but there was no getting out of this one. The evidence was right there, in her own words, her own voice, for everyone to see. Then, I stepped forward, finally breaking my silence. "I thought you'd all want to know how Bella really feels about you," I said, my voice steady and clear. "Enjoy the rest of the night, if you still want to be here." The room was dead silent, everyone staring at Bella with a mixture of disgust and betrayal. Her boyfriend looked like he'd been punched in the gut. Her best friend, the one she'd mocked as a clingy and pathetic, was on the verge of tears. Bella had always been the queen of her social world, but now, that world was crumbling right before her eyes. And me? I just stood there, watching her world fall apart. It was strange, almost surreal. I'd expected to feel triumphant, maybe even a little victorious, but as Bella's friends walked out one by one, as her boyfriend left without so much as a goodbye, I felt something different. It was a mix of relief and emptiness, like I'd been carrying this weight for so long that I didn't know what to feel without it. If you were in my shoes, would you have done the same? Have you ever witnessed someone get exactly what they deserve? Let me know in the comments below. Bella was left standing alone in that room. The life she'd built on lies and manipulation shattered in a matter of minutes. When I finally left, I didn't look back. I'd gotten my revenge, and I felt free from the weight of her lies, free from the hold she'd had on me all those years. But I also learned something important that night. Revenge doesn't heal all wounds, it only exposes them. Max would never come back, and Bella's cruelty had left scars that would take time to fade. But in a way, justice had been served. I'd given Bella the spotlight she so desperately craved, only to show the world her true self, and maybe that was enough. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story. Like and share this video if it had you on the edge of your seat. Remember, lies have a way of circling back, sometimes. They just need a little push. Moral of the story, lies eventually catch up to us. Sometimes, the best way to end a bully's reign is to simply reveal the truth.